Hello viewers, Purple Celery here, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing episode 4 of series 11 of Doctor Who, the very creepy crawly episode Arachnids in the UK. So for this video, I'm going to shake up the format a little bit. I'm going to break it down into 8 parts, simply because spiders have 8 legs. So without further ado, here goes. Number 1, what did I think were the key messages of this episode? Well, I reckon the key messages were: don't build a hotel on a rubbish dump, always check the ceiling, and apparently it's better to let a dying creature suffocate to death rather than give them a quick mercy kill. Number 2. What was my favourite aspect to this episode? I really enjoyed the part at the start where the Doctor has just dropped her companions back on Earth and she's a bit needy. She's making those big puppy dog eyes. She's sort of, just kicking around. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Just travel by myself, I guess. And then Yas basically offers her dinner at her place. And I just love how the Doctor jumps at that chance. I just thought that was such a nice scene, and it just shows how attached the Doctor has become to her new TARDIS team. Number 3. What was my least favourite aspect to this episode? This one is easy to answer. I thought the mood of this episode was actually all over the place. It could have been really funny, it also could have been really scary. I felt like it was trying too hard to balance those two aspects out. But it just didn't work for me. I felt like the suspense and the horror was ruined by too much flippancy, but there was also like enough creepiness that it wasn't like a laugh out loud episode. And then to compound matters at the end of the episode, when we saw the dying spider, it's like we were supposed to feel really sad for this creature. So yeah, to me the mood just was jarring. It was all over the place and didn't quite coalesce for me. The other part of the episode that I didn't really like at all was Ryan's rap music. Again, the music just didn't work for me. I thought it was a bit forced and unnecessary. Like, I get why it was integral to the plot. They had to sort of attract the spiders to the panic room. But yeah, I just found the actual music to be quite irritating. Number 4. What did I think was the scariest part to this episode? Well, as I kind of indicated before, sadly, I didn't actually think that this episode was all that scary. Like, it could have been a lot more scarier, a lot more gripping, but it just wasn't. But if I had to pick a particular moment, it would definitely be when the giant spider came out of the bathroom, came out of the bath. Yeah, I guess that was fairly scary. Number 5. Was there any fan fiction fuel to this episode? Purple Celery, what do you mean by fan fiction fuel, I hear you ask? To me, fan fiction fuel is basically any scene which might inspire people to go off and write a fanfic about it. And I think that there was a clear scene which might just have done that in this episode. That was the scene where Yaz's mum asks Yas if she's seeing the Doctor, and the Doctor's like, oh, I don't know, are we seeing each other, Yas? And Yas is like, no, we're just mates. But I think that a lot of writers might be able to, take that in a different direction and do like a slash fic. Who knows? I also can see fanfics about Yaz's sister trying to crack on to Ryan, and maybe like a bit of a love triangle between Yas and her sister and Ryan. Who knows? I mean, if that inspires you, get writing. Number 6, continuity and callbacks. By that I mean, was there any development of the overarching storylines for this entire season, or were there any callbacks to previous episodes or previous seasons? In terms of the first one, I think this was very much a standalone episode. There weren't any mention of the Stenza or Tim Shaw or anything like that. I don't think that we'll be seeing the spiders or the Jack Robinson character again. In terms of callbacks, there was kind of one, I thought, at the end where the Doctor was warning her companions that travelling with her in the TARDIS can't guarantee their safety, and they'll be different people when they arrive back on Earth again. And I think that's just because the Doctor has seen how travelling with her or him back in the day can affect all of her companions, can change them. Like Rose was changed. She wanted more out of life than just living on a council estate. Clara was definitely changed, and not for the better, sadly, because she became so reckless. So yeah, I thought that was a definite callback to previous seasons. And just how the Doctor's previous companions have changed, and I can see how she'd want to warn her new friends about the risks. Number 7. Do I have any wacky theories that arise from this episode? Well, yes, I do. In this episode, Arachnids in the UK, we saw Graham have visions of Grace. And I think there's got to be a reason for this. I think there's got to be a reason why Grace is getting so much presence even though she's dead. My theory is that they'll find a way to bring Grace back to life. I know that Stephen Moffat did this before several times with various characters, such as Heather the alien who came back from the puddle. So yeah, my theory is that by the end of this series 11, Grace will somehow be brought back to life. Whether it's going to be permanent or temporary, who knows? But I just think that there's going to be more to Grace than just Graham and Ryan grieving her death. I think that we will see her again. And oh God, the spider's getting closer. So number 8, what was my overall score for Arachnids in the UK? I thought it was a decent episode. It wasn't outstanding. It was good, but it was probably my least favourite so far of this series. So I would rate it 6.5 out of 10. So that's it from me for this week. Did you enjoy the new format? What were your thoughts on this episode? Please leave your comments below. If you've enjoyed watching this, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I will see you next week when I review episode 5. Until then, this is Purple Celery and my spider saying goodbye.